Do you feel frequent tiredness, a drop in energy, or do you notice that your sexual disposition is no longer the same? Science shows that correct breathing can reverse all of this in a matter of minutes. In this video, you'll discover how simple breathing techniques activate the male hormonal system, increase testosterone naturally, and restore your vital energy in a safe and powerful way. It is not magic, but real physiology. You will learn how to breathe to increase circulation in the genitals, techniques that strengthen the muscles of the perineum and improve erection, why breathing directly influences sleep, self-esteem, and desire, and how to apply all this in your routine in less than 15 minutes a day. Watch to the end to understand why so many men are regaining their inner strength, starting with a single breath. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on men's health, energy, and vitality after 50. Because aging isn't about losing strength, it's about learning to breathe consciously. Few people know, but there's a type of breathing capable of activating male energy almost immediately. We're not talking about magic, nor empty promises. We're talking about something that's inside your own body, and that most men completely ignore. In a world where exhaustion, lack of libido, and loss of vigor have become part of men's daily lives, especially after the age of 50, understanding how the body reacts to oxygen and breath control can be the key to transforming one's vitality. And the most impressive thing, this can start happening in a matter of minutes. As time goes by, many men notice a drastic drop in mood, both physical and emotional. Walking is more tiring, sleep does not recover as before, and the sexual energy seems to hide for no reason. But the truth is that there is a reason, yes, and it is in the autonomic nervous system, more specifically in the activation of the vagus nerve and the male hormonal axis. When a man breathes short and shallowly, something very common in modern life, he repeatedly activates the sympathetic system, the one responsible for alertness, stress, flight. This constant state of tension not only drains vital energy, but also deactivates the natural mechanisms of testosterone production, pleasure, and connection. But when the breath is guided consciously, slowly, and deeply, something surprising happens. The body enters a state of repair. Oxygen circulates intensely again in the tissues. The muscles come loose. The mind slows down. And most importantly, the body reproduces substances linked to male vitality, such as testosterone, dopamine, and oxytocin. Yes, it is possible to rekindle this system, and no, it does not depend on injectable drugs or hormones. In recent years, studies conducted at universities such as Harvard, Stanford, and European longevity centers have explored the effects of conscious breathing on men over the age of 50. One of them, published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology, showed that a simple technique of deep breathing, practiced for just 10 minutes a day, increased free testosterone levels by more than 30% in patients with chronic fatigue. Another study, carried out with war veterans in the United States, showed that after 4 weeks of guided breathing practice, most participants reported improved physical disposition, spontaneous erections, and greater confidence in daily life. But what exactly is this breathing, and how to apply it at home in a simple way without complex devices or meditations? It's called square breathing, or 4-4 breathing. The technique consists of inhaling for 4 seconds, holding the air for another 4, exhaling for 4, and finally, keeping the lungs empty for another 4 seconds. Simple, but powerful. This cycle triggers the parasympathetic system, reduces cortisol, and awakens areas of the brain linked to energy, concentration, and physical pleasure. Simply repeat the cycle for 10 minutes when you wake up or before bed. Within days, the results begin to show. More energy to walk, greater mental clarity, and yes, more libido. But it's not just breathing itself. The male body is highly responsive to the way air moves inside it. When a man breathes with his chest inflated, he is signaling tension. When he learns to breathe with his abdomen deeply and silently, he calms not only the body, but also the internal memories of stress, failure, demand. This is the point where science meets emotion. Men who have learned to breathe consciously report not only physical improvements, but re-encounters with their own strength, as if they were returning to inhabit their own body. And this is not mysticism, it's pure physiology. By breathing properly, the testicles receive more blood supply, the prostate relaxes. The muscles of the perineum, so important for erection, strengthen without any extra exercise. Circulation improves, the brain receives more oxygen, sleep is regulated, anxiety decreases, and as a consequence, the masculine energy pulses again from the inside out. It is common to hear that male decline is inevitable, that after 50, everything is downhill. But this is a lie repeated by a society that profits from man's insecurity. The truth is that many men only need 2 minutes of silence a day to regain their strength. And it all starts with the first conscious breath. Most men who experience sexual performance problems or a drop in libido rarely think of breathing as a cause, let alone a solution. But when we look closely at the physiological behavior of erection and male sexual response, we realize that the most neglected factor is precisely oxygen. This is because an erection does not depend only on physical or psychological stimulation. It depends on controlled blood pressure, healthy vascularization, and erectile tissue tone. And all of these elements are directly linked to the quality of breathing. Imagine this. With each shallow and quick inhale, the brain interprets that the body is under threat. In response, it releases adrenaline and elevates cortisol. These two hormones are direct antagonists of testosterone. That is, the longer you live in alert breathing, the less your body has room to produce or use the hormones that sustain desire, potency, and energy. And the worst, this chronic state of alertness tenses the muscles of the pelvic region, hinders circulation in the corpora cavernosa of the penis, and interferes with the nervous system responsible for sensory responses to touch. Now imagine the opposite. A deep, rhythmic breath in which air enters through the nose, expands the abdomen, and slowly exits through the mouth. By repeating this pattern consciously for a few minutes a day, the body changes state. The heartbeat slows down. Blood pressure stabilizes, blood vessels dilate, and the genital region starts to receive more blood, more nutrients, and more oxygen. This generates not only more erection, but more sensitivity, more pleasure, and more self-confidence. Research conducted by the American Institute of Integrative Medicine showed that men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction, when practicing guided breathing for 12 minutes a day, showed an improvement in their sexual performance by up to 48% after just 30 days. The study also revealed that most of them reported not only physical improvement, but also emotional improvement, including reduced fear of failure, greater connection with their partner, and a more stable self-esteem, and there's more. When breathing is integrated with the conscious movement of the perineum, as occurs in the technique known as root breathing, the results are amplified. In this method, the man inhales deeply, slightly contracts the pelvic floor muscles, as if trying to stop the flow of urine, and then exhales, releasing all tension. This small act, repeated for cycles, strengthens the base of the body, improves ejaculatory control, and reduces tension in the prostate region. It is a simple, silent, and invisible practice, which can be done sitting, lying down, or even walking. But the key is in consistency. Many men give up because they expect immediate results, without understanding that breathing is like a muscle. It needs to be trained. The benefits come with repetition. And the more regular the practice, the more the body relearns to function in its natural state of hormonal, sensory, and energetic balance. In addition, it is not only sexual function that improves. Men who breathe well report more clarity in decisions, less irritability, and greater focus. This happens because oxygen regulates areas of the brain linked to the prefrontal cortex, which commands attention and self-control. In parallel, the limbic system, responsible for emotions, is also reorganized. Deep breathing activates the amygdala in a healthy way, reducing impulses of anger, impulsivity, and shame. And with this, the man reconnects with his emotional power, something that for a long time was repressed by the culture of rigid and silent virility. It is worth remembering. It is not about abandoning medications or conventional medical treatments. It's about reclaiming something that's rightfully yours, control over your own body. Because true masculine energy is not born from pills or external imposition. It is born from within. It is activated when man is able to inhabit his own silence, breathe with presence, and transform air into power. What's more, the practice of conscious breathing also improves sleep, a fundamental factor for testosterone production. A study by the University of Chicago proved that men deprived of sleep for more than 3 consecutive days have hormonal drops of up to 60%. Those who regain sleep with practices such as guided breathing before bed not only restore their hormone levels, but also report more erotic dreams, more feelings of vitality when they wake up, and more emotional balance throughout the day. If you've come this far, you've already understood that masculine energy is not a mystical force, nor something that depends only on genetics or youth. It is a physiological, neurological, and emotional process that can and should be reactivated every day. And the most powerful thing about all of this is that the breath is the starting point. It doesn't cost anything, it's always available, and you just need to know how to use it to transform your health, your disposition, and your intimate life. Now let's recap and organize the 3 main respiratory practices that any man can apply, even today, safely and with progressive results. Techniques that do not require devices, do not take more than 10 to 15 minutes a day, and that, over the weeks, will give back to the body everything that stress, time, and silence have taken away. The first is the aforementioned square breath, also known as 4 arcs 4 breathing. It is ideal to be done when you wake up, when the body is still in a state of transition and hormones need natural stimulation. Sit comfortably with your spine upright. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold the air in your lungs for another 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth also for 4. and keep your lungs empty for another 4 seconds before repeating. Do this for 10 minutes. You can use a stopwatch or calm music as a base. This practice stimulates the parasympathetic system, reduces cortisol, improves oxygenation, and activates hormones linked to the feeling of strength and well-being. The second practice is pelvic breathing with perineal contraction, also called root breathing. In it, the objective is to bring consciousness to the center of man's force, the region between the anus and the testicles, where the pubococcygeus muscle is located. As you inhale deeply, slightly contract this region as if you were trying to stop the flow of urine. Hold for 2 seconds, then exhale slowly, releasing the contraction. This technique strengthens the muscles responsible for sustaining erection, prevents prostate dysfunction, and improves sexual sensitivity. 3 cycles of 5 minutes a day are enough to notice a difference in a few weeks. And the third technique is called solar axis breathing. It is aimed at restoring self-confidence, focus, and mental clarity, something essential for men who live under pressure for responsibility and demand. Lie on your back, with one hand on your chest and the other on your abdomen. The goal is for only the hand over the abdomen to move. Inhale through your nose, feeling the air fill the center of your belly. Hold for 3 seconds. Exhale very slowly, while feeling your body relax completely. Repeat this for 10 minutes before bed. In addition to improving sleep, this technique reduces repetitive thinking, irritability, and creates a more stable emotional foundation. You don't have to do all the techniques on the same day, you can switch. The important thing is to keep the practice constant, to allow the body to relearn the path of calm, vitality, and pleasure. Men who master their own breath also control their impulses, their emotions, and their reactions. And this goes far beyond sexual health. This is presence. That's power. Maybe you've never learned this before. Maybe you grew up hearing that real men don't feel, don't talk, don't need help. But what no one told you is that silence does not protect. You get sick, and breathing, on the contrary, heals. Because every emotion you don't express, the body feels, and all the pleasure you suffocate, the body keeps it as tension. Breathing is a political act. It's you saying, I exist, I'm here, and I'm ready to reclaim what is rightfully mine. Now you have the tools, knowledge, the way. Use this. Breathe with intention. Breathe with presence. Breathe with courage. Because with each deep inhale, you're not just drawing in air. You're pulling back the man who was erased by fatigue, by demand, by shame. And it's giving him back, to you, the energy that's always been there. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on men's health, energy, and vitality after 50. Because aging isn't about losing strength, it's about learning to breathe consciously.